Hi, I am Torstein from Cinema Terror, and today I'm back with another new film that I saw at the fantastic recent horror film festival called Ramaskrik here in Norway. Leatherface is a news entry into the apparently indestructible franchise of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't say that I've enjoyed any movies from this franchise since perhaps the third one, ironically also called Leatherface, released back in 1990. This Leatherface takes us back to the events that made Leatherface into the character that he eventually becomes, so this is a prequel in the same sense as the forgettable Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Beginning from 2006. In this new one, we get to experience the upbringings of Leatherface and how he was taken away from the Sawyer family to be put into a mental institution. We then follow him as a young adult together with a few others when they break out of the mental institution 10 years later, with plenty of murder and mayhem included on the ride. Now, I will be honest and say that I originally had zero interest in any new Texas Chainsaw movie. But the fact that this is directed by the French duo Julien Maury and Alexandre Bustillo did make me curious that perhaps this one might not be so bad after all. So how was Leatherface? Well, for me who haven't enjoyed any of the last 5, 6 or 7, wherever they are at right now, this one ended up being just another poor experience, with me rather wanting to watch the first original one again instead of any of this newer crap. I have no idea what the actual idea of this film was supposed to be. It does nothing to add to the Texas Chainsaw saga. In fact, it actually does more harm than good to it, due to them messing with the Leatherface character, taking away his mystique, if you will, and rather give him a lame backstory that feels out of character if you watch the original Texas Chainsaw movie. He goes from being a more or less normal young guy here, then in a very unconvincing twist he goes bonkers, and voila, he suddenly becomes the infamous Leatherface. The reason for why he chose to wear a human mask is also unsatisfying here, and you just can't see how this little guy would go on to become the animalistic monster that scared audiences worldwide back in the 70s. Funny enough, most of the film is spent with others being the villain, as Leatherface and a few others are basically being forced to tag along with a crazy, murdering couple who are on a murder spree on their way down to Mexico.
Sorry, all. That was my fault.
Think it's time y'all clear out, pay up, and go.
We ain't got no money.
This couple gets too much screen time, putting other more important characters to the main story in the background, including Stephen Dorff's character as the local police detective, who has a personal vendetta towards the Sawyer family, and of course Vanessa Grasse's character as Nurse Lizzie. She is set up early on to become sort of the final girl in the film, a good choice by all means as she's absolutely gorgeous and is able to keep a vulnerable side to her, but she gets nothing at all to work with here. She's basically sticking around in the film as they needed someone for Leatherface to go hunt after during the end. So there's basically no characters to stay interested in, including motherfucking Leatherface. And there isn't anything interesting when it comes to the visuals either, which is a huge shame if you are familiar with some of Maury and Bustillo's first 2 films, Inside and Livid. I am very disappointed in the work here as I expected much more. Even the violent scenes aren't all that great, with many of the kill scenes being off-screen with only blood spattered being shown. And while you might mention that the original didn't have much blood, or practically any of it at all, this one has a feel that it needed some more gory scenes while the original didn't. I am not sure if all the blame is to be put on the French duo though, as this has been a troubled production that originally did its filming in May of 2015, in Bulgaria out of all the places, before reshoots was done a year later, with the film sitting in post-production all the way up until this fall, even if it was originally set to be released last year. Even with being attached to such a huge and successful horror franchise, It is now quietly being dumped onto streaming platforms with hardly any theatrical release at all. Leatherface is another miss in a long run of misses from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. A lot of this film has made back its money, so it is understandable why they kept on making this, but judging by the limited release this one is getting, I'm going to guess that it will be a while until the next time we see Leatherface on the big or small screen, and I'm good with that. Leatherface might work for those of you who actually enjoyed the majority of the movies in this franchise, but I would not recommend this one to anyone at all. Leatherface has little to offer, and even if I didn't go into it with huge expectations, it was still able to disappoint me. Leatherface gets the low score of 1.5 out of 5. Who else has sat through this film yet, and what did you think of it? If you'd like it, then I would also be interested in hearing if you enjoyed the previous films that we have gotten from this franchise during the last 10-20 years. And how do you think it ranks up compared to the other films in the entire franchise? Let me know about it in the comment section below, and if you thought this review was done decently enough, then make sure you check out the rest of my channel. Thank you for watching.